Hello, Aaron. Nice to see your work. Now, with assignment two, well, things look good. Nice colors. I would say your areas of overlap at center and right seem to have a closer interval than left and center. Now, transparency, well, this is okay. However, it's nice to get an under-over effect happening. It seems like the different shapes are made to be transparent and they're just laid over one on top of another. And that's okay. I guess we're always going for a really persuasive arrangement of shapes, colors, concepts. Now, you do have something pretty fascinating going on in part two here with depth. I notice you've changed things around, and it's true that light things come forward, dark ones go back. Saturated things also come forward, so the business of having saturated colors in the middle is a little hard to rationalize, but I think that helps you to consider how colors work. Vibration is okay. It works best if we have just a couple of colors. And once more, I would push you, as I part one, for a more formal, compelling sort of design where things might be measured, where the layout might be very specific. Hi, Kendall. What a lovely example for your assignment two. In assignment three, part one, transparency, things look nice. I see a variety of shapes. Looks like you're having a good time putting this together. Particularly interesting is that diagonally oriented shape toward bottom. Now, with depth, I've seen this sort of design many times. However, it seems like you're careful in assembling it. I guess the red in center would be coming forward because it's more saturated and also lighter. Now, with part three, you do have vibration going there. When I look at this in grayscale, the red and green are not same value though, but that's a very hard thing to manage. I would say that the effect is strongest when there are just a couple of colors. Sometimes adding other colors and elements takes away from the vibration effect. Danielle, this is a beautiful set of work from week 4 for you. Let's see. I think that assignment 2 looks great. Transparency in assignment 3 does look good. The transparency effect is subtle. I had to look for it at first. Depth is marvelous. I noticed that you've reworked this, making the darker colors go to the back. One thing I would mention is the center rows of squares that are arranged like diamonds. I think those could stand to be straightened up. It might be that you could rotate them or arrange them with the help of a guide. Now, with vibration, I noticed that you got the values to be the same, even though we have 2 warm colors, and something's got to give there. It's very hard to get all of those factors for maximum vibration. One thing I'd say here is, the outside edges have rows of small squares, and you could copy and paste one and have those all be the same. I guess the matter is either have things very symmetrical or make them look as though you were tinkering with the symmetry. Make the non-symmetry look like it was intended. John, this is a beautiful example of assignment 2. With transparency in assignment 3, well, this is not a formal sort of design. That's to say it's non-symmetrical, and I see a lot of them like this. However, I do note a certain deliberate quality to the arrangement of things. The shapes seem to lead my eye around the composition. This is a great example for depth. I love the negative space star in the center, and it's nice in vibration to see how you created this effect. I'm looking here to see if your values are the same. They're not, however, that's a really hard thing to manage. Beverly, what a nice color set with assignment 2. With assignment 3, well, it's an interesting idea to let blocks be patterns. However, I think you could be more specific with the layout and composition of the design. With depth, I'd say that yellow, that series of yellows is sort of foiling things because the yellow wants to come forward. But generally, I think you've got some good ideas there. Vibration will work best if you have just a couple of colors. And I'm checking the grayscale version of your work, and I see that the values don't match, but that's a pretty hard thing to do. Nina, beautiful colors for assignment 2. You know, your effect here is subtle, and that's owing to the fact that the interval is minimal between the areas of overlap. What a beautiful solution for transparency here. Obviously, it took time to assemble that, and it took time to make your depth work too. The only, the only little problem there is because you've chosen to work with neutrals, we don't have any variety in saturated versus desaturated or warm and cool colors. With vibration, well, you've got vibration happening. However, what happened to the only rectangles idea? It doesn't look as though this work was made for this assignment. Well, hi, Vicki. Assignment 2 looks okay. You know, your areas of overlap have drastically changed, and I think I can buy that. Now, looking at assignment 3, you know, in cases like this, I'm looking for each of the designs to be a composition on its own, so those should be presented in separate files. Essentially, your work is correct, but I want you to be even more ambitious with future work. And this is excellent work. Your assignment 2 looks quite perfect. Transparency is fun, thank you, and a lot of care went into the arrangement of depth. With vibration, well, I think you're going to get a greater effect without the white bars between the stripes of color. Vicki, very nice solution for assignment 2. With transparency, in assignment 3, I like your layout. I can see a lot of care went into that. It's a complicated composition. With depth, we've got a little issue here, which has to do with light colors wanting to come forward while dark ones go back. Saturated ones also come forward. And given the graduated size of shapes, you know, those light pink shapes seem like they should be in the rear, but the same time they want to come forward because they're light, but also the saturated areas want to come forward. So with a little calculation, you can create a design where all of these factors work together to create depth. Let's see, with vibration, I noticed that your orange is not fully saturated, and I'd like you to use a grid to lay out such designs. Cat, lovely solution to assignment 2. With transparency in assignment 3, I think it would be good to introduce brown into the interior of the design. With depth, well, I see this sort of layout many a time. However, you've handled it very nicely here, and it's kind of quirky that your color is a flesh color. Let's see. In vibration, I think we need more symmetry here. I'd like to see you use guides and the grid to lay something like this out. At the extreme outer edges on right and left, the rows of boxes do not seem to be lined up evenly. Derek, this is a nice color set for your assignment 2. And I think I agree your areas of overlap are okay. The template is falling apart here though. In such cases, take your best color set and apply it to a new copy of the template. With transparency in assignment 3, well, I've seen this sort of design many a time before, and I want you to create compelling, complicated designs that are carefully laid out. Use the guide, use grids. Make a plan. Now, with depth, we've got a problem here. The dark colors seem to be in front because of the way things are overlaps. The dark colors will emphasize the illusion of depth if they are in the rear. With vibration, well, good job. These colors are pretty close in value. However, once again, I would like to point out that this design is pretty informal. It's casual in layout, even though there are many components, and I want you to push further with future work.